Come on in. Yep. Yep. One more. Woo. I swear it's that. That was a good set. Start the session off right. Today is session number 26 in the blood box. Today will be chest and shoulders. Why chest and shoulders? Just because that's what works for me. Because I usually do chest and triceps together, and shoulders I tend to leave out and just fill in here and there. So today is one of those days where shoulders replaces triceps. So that is the reason for that. But chest and shoulders today, I'll probably do 2 exercises per muscle group. And you know, the same goes with my sets. I don't really have a set number in my head, just whatever feels good. That's how you should always approach your training. Whatever feels good and whatever your intuition is. Because otherwise you get just caught up on logging, tracking, making everything perfect. Whereas if you do what feels good, it is usually your body telling you what is going to work, what is effective. So I'll do probably 1 or 2 more here. I do have something to discuss. I know I don't usually go into long discussions on my lifting videos, but it's just apparent that it came up in conversation, and I thought, you know, all of these videos are stuff that I break down, that I experience in my day-to-day life, that I feel like are useful if, you know, just someone is listening. So I do have something to talk about, and I'll just speak about it as I go on throughout the session, because you know me, I don't like to waste time and let making these videos affect my natural training style, how I train. I just come here, put the camera up, and I do my shit. That is it. I don't want it to change anything about my training, my lifestyle, and who I am, really. Because as authentic as you can be is really shows people how much you care for yourself, how much respect you have for yourself. And that is what I try to do with this, just be as authentic as possible. I don't let it intrude on what I do, how I do it, why I do it. I leave that up to the viewer to decide, and I just post my stuff because I think that there's something you can learn from someone, you know, from everyone. Everyone has something to learn, that, you know, something they don't know, something they want to know. There's always something you can learn from someone, and that is why I do this. Maybe someone can learn something from me. And I just think it's useful to see other people, how they go about their life, you know, how they train, how they talk, what they think about. It's just interesting. So, jump into another set. Let's do it. Coming in. Yep. Come on. Woo! I think I'll do a rest pause. Give me 1 minute. Yep. Woo! Rest pauses, man. Those extra 4 reps just boosts that growth ever so slightly, you know. Take a couple seconds rest after you've done your set and go again for as many as you can get. But anyway, the thing that I have to talk about, that I've thought about deeply, is death. Specifically death when it comes to achieving your goals. Now, the reason why I've thought about this and want to openly talk about this is because today there was someone that my parents knew who had passed away. And today I was having a bit of a weird day. You know, when things just don't go right, don't go your way, the odds are against you, you know, stupid little things happen and they build up and you get more and more stressed. Every little thing that happens, you can feel the tension rising, and those little things that just aren't enough to make you lash out and start swearing and throwing things and being physical, and it's not enough for that, but it just bothers you and makes your day worse. It inherently allows you to self-sabotage your day. Those sort of things were happening to me today. And then I came home from work and my parents had found out that someone that they knew had passed away. All of a sudden, when I heard that, every single problem, every tiny thing that had happened to me throughout the day was gone. You and everyone around you, the problems you have, the problems that they have, the struggles that you have as well as them, you know, the things that worry you, that cause doubt, anxiety, stress. As soon as death appears, none of that is real. None of it is real, because as soon as you are put in the mental space to realise that that could happen to you tomorrow, everything goes out the window. And I thought to myself, why is that? Why is it now that my day has become the most precious thing when I just wanted it to get it over and done with, because everything was going wrong? You know, nothing was going my way. So I just wanted to come home, have done with it, and just start a new day tomorrow. But as soon as I heard that, today became the most important thing in my life because of someone else's death. That I thought to myself, that could have been you. All the things, all the dreams, aspirations, things that you have planned could be taken away from you just like that. And the way this came about and made me think about achieving goals and success is that if you're a hesitant person, someone that never jumps 2 feet into something or never gives something your true 100% because you're always doubting whether something will work or whether people will judge you of it, you know, what will others think of you, what you'll think of yourself if you fail. Just remember and remind yourself that you are going to die. There's going to be a set amount of money that you're going to make, a set amount of people that you would have met and changed their lives, a set amount of achievements that you can achieve. So why worry about all of these external things when it's inevitable that you're going to die? Nothing should stop you from achieving your goals and dreams when you remind yourself that you are going to die. One day nothing will matter. Even the things you achieve won't matter. The money you make won't matter. The people's lives that you've changed won't matter. Because after a certain period of time, everything just gets washed away and there's a clean slate. So why would you let any outside external force stop you from doing the most craziest things, having the most crazy dreams and aspirations and goals that you have set? Why would you let anything change that? It's so natural as humans to accumulate all of this outside mess and outside clutter and constantly bring it in as our problems that we have to deal with, that we allow it to ruin our day, to change our moods, to affect the things that we do, how we act, you know, how we present ourselves. And then as soon as something like death comes into the equation, you question yourself. You know, you really think about, wow, that could be me. So why am I stressing about this tiny thing that's happened in my day? You know, when inherently, if that happens to you, that won't matter and everything else around it won't matter. So why does that thing matter in the first place? It doesn't. You just make it matter because of certain things that have gone wrong that you can't control. So you try to control something when you shouldn't. As soon as you hear something like that, you think about all the things that, you know, everything, your life flashes before your eyes. You know, when someone you know passes away or someone that you hear of passes away, you think and you relate to it of yourself, and you think, what if that was me, if I was to go right now? You know, there's certain things that you wish you would have achieved, you know, a person that you wish you would have become, and you start to act that way. And the main takeaway that I've got from this is that death should not be the reason that you start to chase your goals, that you start to authentically push after what you want, to achieve the things that you dream of. Death should not be the reason for that. Death shouldn't be the reason that you all of a sudden have some get up and go in you to go and achieve those things that have flashed before your eyes, that, you know, all of a sudden you're in a panic because death is on your mind. You know, it should act as a reminder, but it shouldn't be the reason that you start chasing after your goals. And if it is the reason, and you have that instant flash and panic that there are things you know you need to do before you die, then you are not working hard enough towards them, and you are not taking them seriously enough. Because if you truly are taking something that is life or death, you know that if you were to die today, you would be content knowing how hard you are working towards that goal and towards that dream. That is something internal that only you can talk about with yourself and understand, and gravitate towards a reason why, and how you can go from there and further live your life in a way that you can die at any given moment and be content with knowing the effort, energy and passion and authenticity that you're putting towards achieving your goals. That is just the start of my thoughts on that, and I just found it interesting how it can change my day in an instant like that. So one more here, and swap to a shoulder exercise. I'll probably do side raises. I'm not going to do any shoulder pressing today for shoulders. So we'll hit one more and then move on to shoulders. Let's do it. Gonna do another rest pause. Give me a minute. Woo! I didn't explain it earlier, but a slight decline. I never really tend to do flat bench as it is, just because it puts my shoulders in an uncomfortable place relative to my pressing and how I like it. But slight decline because it just takes that touch tension less off the shoulders and gives the chest a better stretch. And it just works for me. It feels good, and that's just pretty much how I go about most of my exercises. You know, there's no point putting too much thought into doing it. I know there is a lot of whole thought in the back somewhere, but at the front of my brain there's not much thought about it. I'm going to leave that there. Those are some good sets. I'm happy with that. And then we'll move on to dumbbell side raises. I'm going to do it seated today because I've watched back some of my videos and I can see a lot of swinging, which we don't want. I mean, some swinging is okay, but I've done seated the other day and it felt a lot better. Obviously, yes, lower weight because you are solely moving shoulder from A to B and there's no swinging. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to that, and then I'm not sure what after that. I'll just figure out what feels good, like I say. So let's just move straight onto it. Jump into another set. Oh man. completely takes out the swing or just less of it, there's still going to be some swinging with side raises, but having the chair, the bench definitely makes a difference and definitely puts more tension on the delts, which is what we want. Feels good. So I'm going to stay here for 2 more and then move back onto chest. I'll probably do incline Smith. I was thinking about doing some flies, but pressing is probably what is going to feel good for me and is what my brain is telling me will feel good. So I'll do an incline press for the next exercise. But for now, I'll stick here for 2 more and then we'll move on. Let's do another set. Woo! 1 more and then we'll move on. Let's do it. Woo! That's it. I never like to spam too many sets or go too crazy on side delts because they are overpowering my arms at the moment. You know, I need to get biceps and triceps bigger. So I just throw them in a touch here and there. So that's what works for me, so I do that. But I won't be doing any more other side delt exercises today. I'll probably chuck in some shrugs to finish just because I neglected traps quite a lot in the early stages of my lifting. I always tend to throw them in at the end of a session if it makes sense, and today it definitely makes sense. So we'll do that at the end, but for now let's move on to incline bench for the upper chest. Let's do it. Yeah. Woo! Maybe a touch heavy, especially after that decline bench. I'll probably drop it down a little bit and then I'll probably do a rest pause just to compensate for that. So let's just jump straight into another set. Woo! No, that was a good set. We'll keep that at 1 straight set and I'll just do another one. And then that'll be it for this exercise. This is it, this is how it should be. Or actually I say that. This is how I like it. This is how it should be for me. Effective, efficient. You know, I know a lot of people that take time with their training, you know, and that's fine. People that love the whole spending a long time in the gym and stuff like that. But for me, you know, especially if you're someone that's busy, not a lot of time to spare, but loves lifting weights. I just love making it effective and efficient, and that's what I get the most purpose from in training, is boiling it right down to what is going to make me progress. How quickly can I do it without, you know, tampering with progress, performance, and how much can I enjoy it. And I feel like my training over the years has become so refined. You know, I've decluttered a lot of the stuff that I don't need with training that just was monotonous to me, that I didn't enjoy. You know, I've narrowed it down to just a warm-up that I love doing, that gets me warm, gets me ready for my sessions. Exercises that I know I'll like and love, that will always, and if not, there's other stuff that will always feel good. And the time I take to train, it's a short period of time that therefore forces it to be intense and focused. You know, there's not any time for sitting around on my phone, texting other people, you know, talking to people, especially in here. There's no one else but me and this camera. The only people I talk to are the people that are watching. You know, I don't waste any sort of time on training. It should be solely focused on the purpose of, you know, lifting your weights, getting involved, you know, connecting with the muscle, connecting with your body, and having sort of a personal experience with it, as because it does go deep. You know, training, you should feel the blood flowing, feel the muscles that you're working, you know, pay attention to what you're doing. And I think that is how I've got the most purpose out of training, and why I love it so much, because it's so much deeper than just lifting a bunch of weight. It has deep rooted meaning behind it, purpose, goals, and just so much involved in it, that if you truly pay attention to it and figure out what gives you the most purpose, it can be one of the most beneficial things that can change your life effectively. And that is what it's done for me. Hey, I just love training, man. I just love it. If coming here down by myself, doing everything by myself, and just no need for any external things, you know, I don't have to look forward to going to the gym because there's other people there to go and socialise, and I don't see it as any of that. You know, it's boiled down to its core is a personal, individual, no team, solo sport, hobby, passion, whatever you want to call it. It is a solo, individual thing that the amount you put in, you will get out. That is it, and that is why I love it. I can't blame anyone. I can't put the amount of work on anyone else. No one can do it for me. I'm the only one that's accountable for it. The mistakes are all mine. The injuries are all mine. You know, the everything is you. You're accountable for your training, the progress you make, and everything else involved in it. And that is why I love it. I love having things that are within my control that I can see progress for, because I know that if there is progress, I've made it. It's not someone else. It's not a team sport where you've won but everyone else has done the work. No, it's that if there is progress, I have made it. And that is what I love about the gym, bodybuilding, lifting weights. Full stop. One more set, last exercise, shrugs. Let's do it. Yep. One more, come on. Oh, there you go. Woo! Good set. That is it. That's how it should be. I don't want to waste any more time talking because I've talked a lot this session. Let's just move straight on to shrugs. I'm just going to do straight sets there, probably 3 sets. No talking in between, just cut in between sets. And then I will wrap the session up. And we'll be able to tick it or tally it on the wall. Let's do it. Woo! Next set. And again, let's do it. One more for good measure. I'll drop the weight a bit and then that'll be it. Let's do it. That's it. Let's tick the session off, matter of fact. Let's do it now. And that is it. Session number 26 added to the wall. Another tally on the wall, another session earned, another session that we showed up for ourselves. The only bad session you have is the one you skip. There is never a bad session, only if you miss a session. That is it. Session number 26, complete, tallied off on the wall. Let's wrap this session up. Let's do it. That is it, man. I really don't have much else to say other than have a think about your dreams and goals and the things that you want to achieve. And think about, if you were to die tomorrow, would you be confident in knowing that you are doing everything in your power, or at least trying to achieve them at a level that you are comfortable with in your day-to-day life? Have a think about that, and it will really put into perspective how hard you are or are not trying to achieve the things you want to achieve, how much effort you are lacking, how much you need to pick up the pace, you need to take them more seriously and give them more time, put more energy, thought and authenticity into them, because death really makes you think about things like that and take things seriously. So that's pretty much all I've got to say. Just have a think about that, and keep training hard, keep lifting, show up every day. Whether that's in the gym or in your own mind, show up every day for yourself, be there for yourself. And if you're having a rough day where things aren't going quite right, and little things are getting to you, it's messing up your day, just remember, you're gonna die. Is it really worth letting these little things overpower you, have control over you, and mess up your day, your weeks, your months, make you miss opportunities? Are those little things really worth it if you're just gonna die one day? Have a think about that. But for now, keep pushing, keep training. Like I said, show up for yourself, and just be there, man. Be present, be in the moment, think about things, keep your mind ticking. That is what keeps us alive, you know, being able to think about things truly in and out and see clearly with clarity. But that is it. Session number 26 tallied off on the wall. Another session earned, another session deserved. So that is it for this one. Nothing else more to say. That is it. I will see you in the next one.